See, it's
This is Sean Payton, head coach of the New Orleans Saints. What's with this Saints happy cast? This has to be the worst Saints podcast in the world. Ralph can't say anyone's name right. Andrew doesn't know football. I have a hard time, everyone has a hard time listening to Dave. And is Kevin even there tonight? The audio with this podcast, my God, the audio, it's painful.
all right, everybody. Welcome to a special Friday night edition of the Saints Happy Hour. That's the breaking news siren. The Saints traded up. We said they were going to trade up today. But, Kevin, I feel like this is a moral victory for you again. Restraint, the Saints traded up to the third round, not into the second round. They just moved up 12. They moved up 12 spots.
14, I thought.
14
14
spots.
spots.
88 to 74, yeah.
88 to 74. They gave up a 2021 third round pick. They're going to have a comp pick coming, so it's almost like they got it for free to draft a linebacker. But Andrew, this linebacker, he's not an inside linebacker. He doesn't fit the profile the Saints like, and he's missing an arm apparently. Explain this, Zach.
So they drafted Ralph?
They drafted.
No,
Zach
Baun,
Braff from Scrubs.
He's a good player. He has some people valued him at a first round level. So, I was never hot on him, I'll be honest. And the main reason why, now the position is clear. And Saints needed a linebacker. Sean Payton said that. He said, ideally, we go get one in the draft. They've now done that. And I think that provides some relief for me. And I think fans, because when you look at Anzalone and you look at Alonso, those are really your two other guys besides Davis. And how much can you trust a guy just coming off an ACL and a guy who's just spent like 3 of the last 4 years on IR for shoulder injuries, or including college. So from that, you should probably play the injury music too.
Yeah.
But so they get a linebacker. That's good. I don't necessarily see the fit when you look at the kind of linebackers the Saints like, because this isn't AJ Klein. This is a tweener that is kind of graded out as an edge guy, but he's too small to play edge. You can gain a little weight maybe and be linebacker. So he's got an interesting skill set. He can definitely blitz. He's definitely very aggressive. Where he fits in the Saints defense, I don't know exactly, but I think in the third round, that's kind of okay. You get talented players and you figure it out. I mean, remember, Junior Gillette was a guy that I didn't feel like fit in the Saints defensive scheme at all. And, they figured it out. They got him on the field, and he ended up being a double-digit sack guy. So I think sometimes when you get in the third round like this and you need to fill a position group, go get talent and figure it out later.
Kevin, they're on track to go into the 2021 draft with a pick in every round. I think that's the upset of the century.
Man, when was the last time they had a pick in every round?
2017, right? Yeah, 2017, I think.
Wow. That's amazing.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, I know they traded for Kamara, but they traded future picks to move
That's
up
right.
to get him. They didn't they had the 2 firsts. They had Marcus Williams in the second. They traded up. They traded up in the third.
They had 3 thirds, right?
Yeah, they ended up with 3 thirds because they took Kamara. They took Kamara, Trey Hendrickson, and who else? Somebody else, maybe.
PJ Williams?
No, PJ Williams was 2015, 16.
Um,
But it's the first. I mean, it's the first year since 2017 where they've had picks in every round. Listen,
For now.
For now, I just don't see them doing much of any. And to me, the first 3 rounds, Kevin, or maybe even if you want to go the first.
Anzalone was the other pick.
Oh yeah.
But the Saints did not pick in the 4th, 5th, or 7th. The only other pick was Al-Qadim Muhammad in the 6th.
Oh, so you were slightly off, Ralph.
Slightly. But like after the 4th round, I don't give a shit. Does anybody give a shit after the 4th round?
No, nobody cares.
There's Dave.
Tell
Hello,
that
Dave.
to Marcus Colston.
They traded away a future Colston. Dave, your thoughts? The Saints have shown incredible restraint in the 2020 draft. Dave, you there?
He's speechless.
He's speechless.
No,
Andy.
well, you got to, you've got to.
Choking on the candy. Now.
I'm choking on something. You got to just update me because I saw they traded up to number 10.
Okay, the last time the Saints
get the Browns, I didn't see what they gave up to move up.
Okay, hold on.
Obviously, they gave up.
Before you tell him, the last time the Saints drafted in every round was 2005 when Jim Haslett was the coach.
No, I know that they traded up. I know
that much.
I know who they drafted. I just don't know. I didn't see what they gave up to move. Obviously, they gave up. I'm assuming their second round pick. Their later in the round second round pick. But what else did they give up to move up to the 10th spot in the 3rd round?
They gave up the 3rd round pick next year.
Okay.
In addition to pick 88.
So I mean, just hot take, quick take. Obviously, I'm impressed with them that they did not trade up into the 2nd round. They proved all of us wrong. We all thought that they were going to jump into the 2nd round to try and grab somebody. We didn't even know who, but try to grab somebody. Although I was thinking about it this morning after we did our show last night and after the 1st round, and I was kind of thinking like they're not going to trade if they were willing to grab their offensive lineman in Cesar Ruiz in the 1st round, that they could have gotten in the 2nd round potentially by trading up. I kind of had a moment of revelation saying, you know what, they're not going to trade up in the 2nd round, because if they were going to trade up in the 2nd round, they would have drafted best available in the 1st round, and then they would have traded up in the 2nd round to get their guy Cesar Ruiz. So
that's an interesting theory.
Yeah, that's just the theory. So I had a moment of revelation thinking, you know what, maybe they're not going to trade up in the 2nd round. And they didn't trade up in the 2nd round. I'm sure Kevin's happy about that. I guess I'm fairly happy about that. They're just sticking with the picks they've got. This is more along the lines of the Jeff Ireland run drafts that we've seen over years past, as opposed to the previous drafts that maybe Peyton and Loomis have been in charge of, where they just kind of lock in and they trade up and get whatever guy they want to get. So I'm happy that they stayed put in the 3rd round. Well, they didn't really stay put in. I mean, they didn't trade up into the 2nd round, but they traded up in the 3rd round, obviously. But I know very little about the guy that they just drafted.
The Saints are so trade up insane, Kevin. We are applauding their restraint by giving up a future 3rd round pick. That's how ingrained they are on the YOLO sauce that we're like, it's not that bad. But Kevin, I'll start with you, but I want everybody to answer. Does this sort of draft moves, does this sort of officially end the YOLO era of Mickey Loomis, in that, yeah, they did some YOLO stuff, Emmanuel Sanders and stuff in free agency, but like this draft is really planning for the future, not burning future assets. Is the age of YOLO, is it sort of officially closed with the 2020 draft?
Brother, you're asking us this question. They're going to go ahead and do something absolutely insane the second this podcast goes up by you asking that question. Loomis is going to get rid of a 6th and a 7th in 2021, a 3rd in 2022, and a 4th in 2023 to come back into somehow the end of this round and pick somebody else up. I don't know. It's just I guess like there's nothing. There doesn't seem to be anything. There hasn't been anything flashy. They haven't made insane moves. I mean, I'm just echoing everything y'all have already said, just more eloquently.
Jason said in the chat room they got Zach Baun, aka Trade Up.
I mean, here's my thing. Like,
hey, two things real quick. Number one, the Saints also got back a 7th round pick. They did not have, I don't think, a 7th round pick in this year's draft. I think they traded that away. So they now have a 7th round pick. So essentially it was 88 and a third round
Colston?
in 2021. Yeah, a third round in 2021, and the 88th pick was sent to Cleveland, and Cleveland sent back a 74th pick, which the Saints used to take Baun, and a 7th round pick this year.
so here's my thing. And I hate to second guess, but like, could the Saints not have, with their first round pick, could they not have found somebody to trade back with, maybe into the early 2nd round, acquired this 3rd round pick in that trade, and then drafted Eric Ruiz early in the 2nd round? Sorry, not Eric, Cesar Ruiz. Sorry, I don't know where I got Eric from.
And Nick Underhill said today that he talked to 2 teams picking right behind the Saints, and that they said they were both prepared to take Ruiz if he
Okay,
was
that's
there.
fine. Then that makes me feel good, because otherwise it begs the question: could they not have traded down into the early 2nd round, still drafted Cesar Ruiz, and used a 3rd round pick that they acquired, instead of trading up into the top of the 3rd round to get the guy they want? Use the 3rd round pick that they acquired and get this linebacker guy.
Isn't it Cesar Ruiz?
Caesar, I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know the guy.
I'm not even gonna bother asking Ralph, but I'm pretty sure it's
Hey.
Cesar Ruiz.
I'm pretty sure it's Caesar if you're American, and if you're Mexican or
Cesar.
Hispanic, Cesar.
I did not
Hey.
know that Italian counted as Mexican, Dave.
I need to ask.
It doesn't, but I don't know.
Yeah, ask your wife how to pronounce it.
Or couldn't they have potentially just drafted Patrick Queen and gotten their linebacker, a potentially better linebacker, stayed put in the 1st round, gotten their linebacker, a better linebacker than, arguably than Zach Baun, and then maybe
Also,
traded up to get
T-shirt
Ruiz.
marketing idea. Apparently on
Hit me.
Twitter,
Hit me.
someone came up with the coin phrase "Baun on the Bayou."
Oh, I'm on it. I'm gonna be the first one. Fuck Flirty Girl and Dirty Coast and all them. I'm gonna be the first one that's got Baun.
Although I guess Patrick
That's
Queen
good.
would have
That's
given
fucking
you
good.
some good options too.
That's
It's the
good.
name Queen.
I don't know. Baun on the Bayou. That's pretty fucking good. That's
good.
Get those shirts up right now, Dave.
who came up with that? We got to give them a free shirt.
We do.
Yeah, seriously.
DM me.
Ooh.
We'll send you a shirt.
Yes.
Unless
slide
you-
in the
Unless you
Two-Lane
want
Shops DMs.
Unless you want a small. We don't have any more smalls, but we got every other fucking size you could want.
I'm ready to print the Baun on the Bayou face masks. Let's go. Let's go. Got to be safe.
So, I mean, they have added depth at offensive line. They got the linebacker, although we aren't quite sure where it fits. I guess my main thing was I'm just surprised that they waited, because Sean Payton last night was like, we still need a linebacker. We want a linebacker, and there's a couple of guys, but I think you're going to have to move quick. And I was just like, ding, 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 ding. They're moving in. And they didn't. So I guess he okey-doked us, and they didn't really feel the need to do it, maybe.
Well, except they did.
But I mean, they didn't go into the 2nd round though. They waited and waited, and they had the guy.
Feels like the first year that Jeff Ireland was involved. Where remember we said that Mickey and Sean wanted to trade up so bad, and he must have locked them into a room and basically said, nope, let the draft come to us. And I mean, again, waiting until 24 to pick Ruiz and then sitting there. I mean, even to get to 74, you started 32, so that was what? That was almost that was 40 picks basically that the Saints stood pat until they traded up. So that is shocking restraint. And I feel like maybe Jeff Ireland again had the upper hand this year, screaming at Loomis and Peyton to not trade up or to not panic.
Kevin, do you think he just screamed at them on Zoom, or do you think he slipped the IT guy like a couple of C notes and was like, look, the internet at Loomis's house to trade up, you don't click it back on to work until I give you the thumbs up, until I text you. Like, do you think that's the play, or did he just berate them on Zoom?
I can't picture anybody berating both Loomis and Peyton on Zoom. I can. It's funnier if the guy paid somebody to just hack their machines and just use their Alexa device to listen in to whenever Loomis started mentioning the word trade. All of a sudden, the computer would need a reboot and a refresh, or Peyton's Twitter account would just act up anytime he mentioned something weird. I don't know.
I gotta say, Belichick, when ESPN went to him and he was out of the room and his adorable little husky dog was sitting by the computer.
Yeah, the only thing in the room.
I mean, I don't know if that was staged or whatever. That was fucking amazing.
By the way, that husky dog has made all of the Patriots draft picks and trade downs decisions for the last 10 years of the Patriots history. And that's why they're a superior franchise. Also, I don't know if this is the appropriate time, Ralph. If you want me to do it later, that's fine. But I have more to say on the Darren Ravel stuff.
Go ahead.
I need to get. Oh, right now we're doing
get
it right
it
now.
off.
Well, first of all, I looked at the original tweet from last night, and he said that the draftees got a memo saying what they could and couldn't show on TV. Okay, Sean Payton is not a draftee. He's the fucking coach of the New Orleans Saints. He's not being drafted. He is not a potential person that might be drafted in this draft. He is not a draftee. So he doesn't even fall under the rules that Darren Ravel is claiming to be broken. Second of all, Darren, who hurt you, man? Who hurt you? I feel like we need to have a Goodwill Hunting type therapy section. It's okay. I love you. It's okay, Darren. Darren, it's okay. I know, Darren. I know. Darren, I know. It's okay. I still love you. I'm here for you, Darren. It's okay. I don't know what trauma happened in your life that you fucking feel the need to just call people out on the stupidest, pettiest, narkiest shit. But it's okay. I love you, Darren. I love you. Darren, I don't love Darren. I want you to know that. I know that. I love you.
Do
Darren,
you, though?
He's a douche canoe,
Darren,
and I hate him.
We love you. Don't do it, Darren. Don't do it, please. I love you, Darren. What a fucking asshole.
So what's his...
Oh, there's your new drop.
Jesus fucking Christ.
No,
Darren Ravel's
you're
on my
not
list
touching
now.
Sean Payton. You are not touching that open.
No.
No. Well, got
not
drops
touching that
galore.
open.
But what's his
It's
medical
funny,
red
Dan
flag?
Ravel has actually retweeted shit from my store actually, and got me tons of hits. But this is that one yesterday was beyond the pale for sure. That was totally inappropriate and unnecessary.
What's his medical red flag? This dude from Wisconsin.
Who Baun on the Bayou?
Yeah, Baun
Sure,
on the
it's gonna be
Bayou.
the Campus Connection, May 1st.
Yeah. What is it?
I don't know.
No idea.
Somebody do some
He's
internet research.
out of his
Somebody in the chat.
I don't know.
Somebody in the chat room.
Are we live?
guess
Are we on YouTube right now?
We're on the
Okay.
YouTube.
But Bud Light Matt in the chat room told me that Baun has a foot problem.
Ooh.
What problem? What's that?
Liz Frank.
Ooh, that's. I mean, could be bad. You know, I mean, Hey, Lattimore had hamstring
did
problems.
you say he did? Did you say he didn't have an arm?
I said he didn't have an arm. He was the.
What's that all about?
He was the villain in The Fugitive.
I'm reading the CBS scouting report here after the pick. Number 74 overall, the Saints select Zach Baun, Wisconsin. Baun was expected to go much earlier. The Saints were expected to take a linebacker, potentially Baun, in the first round. I don't think nobody was taking Baun in the first round. Instead, they unite in round 3. After a trade up, the former walk-on, he's a walk-on, should bring his lunch pail to New Orleans. Well, by golly gee, if we haven't heard the term lunch pail associated with Saints linebackers, that's usually not a good thing. Bring his lunch pail to New Orleans. Alongside Demario Davis, they should be able to accomplish some big things. That's very generic, not very specific. Chris Trapasso, don't know who that is, don't care. He gives the pick an A. I don't know what that means. He says he's super bendy.
Ooh, he's got bend.
Super fucking bendy. What is he fucking Stretch? Did we draft Stretch Armstrong? What the fuck is going on? Super bendy? What kind of fucking descriptive term is that? That is fucking bizarre. He's explosive edge rusher. Don't worry though, he's super bendy.
He's bend. He's got the bend.
Bend around everybody.
You can't teach. You can't.
I don't care what offensive line. I don't care what left tackle you've got. This guy's gonna bend around your offense.
You can't teach bend. You can't teach bend, and you can't teach get off.
He's got good instincts, a little on the small side, but it's fine. He's bendy though, but fun. He's a chess piece for New Orleans, so we've got to use him like a rook or something. I don't know what that means.
I think they need to change
Sounds
draft
like
terms.
the Taysom Hill of the defense, baby.
If
Zach
Baun was a chess piece, was Stephon Anthony like an end table or like a doorstop? Like
I don't know. I now I need to look back on past scouting reports and see how bendy these guys were. I don't know.
Kevin, how many weeks before?
So apparently he had some issues in 2016 and 17, but he's had 2 straight healthy years.
Yeah, there you
Kevin,
go. Zach Bendy Baun. That's his nickname. He's got a new name, Bendy Baun.
Kevin, how many weeks before his
Bendy
foot explodes?
Wait, say that again?
How many weeks before his foot explodes?
Well, it's not going to explode. It's too flexible. It's just going to bend, and it'll be fine.
Right. It's going to take time to bend back the other way. I saw somebody on Twitter.
I wish Alex Anzalone was more bendy.
Yeah, if only more of our linebackers were super bendy.
I saw somebody on Twitter say that between Anzalone and Baun, we may get 16 games.
Somebody's drinking. Somebody's drinking quite a lot tonight. I won't deny.
Me?
He fits in though. He's gritty.
Yes, Dave,
he's injury prone. I mean,
I'm
what?
hopped up on Olive Garden. I'm hopped up on breadsticks, guys.
What?
Did you get it? Did you get it to go?
What?
What can you do? Medicine's not a science.
What else does he need to be the perfect Saints linebacker? He's got injury concerns. He's gritty. You know, he's a perfect fit, basically.
Sure.
He is bendy.
He's super bendy.
I mean, we keep saying when the Saints pick linebackers, they're due to pick a good one because they haven't picked a Pro Bowler one since Mark Fields.
Yeah, right. Yeah, or let's all hang our hat on that. Let's all hang our hat on the statistical improbability. Basically, what you're saying is it's never happened yet in 10 years of history. I think this is the year it's going to happen. That's what you're saying. That's what you're fucking saying.
Well, I'm not so much worried about that as I am relieved that we're now not one injury from Craig Robertson starting at linebacker.
The only thing that has more, the only graveyard that's bigger than the graveyard of Saints linebackers is my graveyard of failed microphone upgrades for this podcast.
Which you've now learned is they're all failed because you talked into them wrong.
Yes.
Right? Wasn't it a position issue?
It was a position issue. We're going to test it out. Somebody literally sent me a picture of a dude, and it's like, correct mic position, wrong mic position. And I was like, I've been doing the wrong mic position for years and years. But it shouldn't surprise anybody because I ran banana meter wrong for 2.5 years. So this is just standard operating procedure around here.
Another notch in the belt.
Booking the territory, our good friend Mike says mic issues. Classic Ralph. I'll start with you, Dave. What's left that you want the Saints to do in this draft?
That's a good question. I'd love to see them get a wide receiver, I guess. Just for some depth, just for some potential competition.
Just so we don't have to see Traquan Smith fail anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. You never know who's going to shake out in training camp. I mean, honestly, it could be a guy that they pick up the day after, on Sunday afternoon when the draft is over, Sunday evening when the draft is over. But I'd like to see some more competition at wide receiver. I'd love to see maybe some secondary help, to be honest with you. I'm glad they got a linebacker because I thought that was a position of need for sure.
Kevin, what would you like to see them do besides not trade up anymore?
They need somebody more bendy.
Yeah, more bendy.
Not enough flexibility on this squad, on this roster. Need more bendy.
We need more free flow dough. Look, I would take, even if they somehow managed to trade out, down, even if it was in the 5th round.
Well,
let's
be realistic, Kevin, for crying out loud. Come on, let's not live in some kind of fantasy fucking world. They're not trading down. Jesus, let's deal with reality here.
He's never letting that go.
Jesus.
No.
We love and accept Kevin for who he is.
No, not that I don't want Kevin to be right. Not that I don't totally agree with Kevin, but let's just be honest. It's not happening.
I'm a dreamer, Dave. I'm a dreamer. Let me dream.
That's right.
Look, I would like a wide receiver as well. Just somebody to compete in camp and possibly add depth behind Thomas and Sanders.
Yeah. Is our boy Throckmorton still available?
You are just like the coach from what was the movie where the kid becomes the pitcher?
He's still available,
yes,
man.
Yes, you're doing it on purpose. I'm certain of it. But either way, you are just like the coach.
I'm not really. I wish
Rowenhauser. Rowenhauser, you're up to pitch.
And
Rosenberger.
My boy Kindle
like
Vildor is still available too. Lots of options left.
No, seriously, if we don't get fucking Throckmorton, this whole fucking draft is just one giant disappointment, to be honest with you.
He did interview. Did I tell you guys that he interviewed?
No, I think that's why it's a legit possibility. And the Saints, we have a pick in the 5th round, right?
And 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, so we've got plenty of chances at Throckmorton, and if by chance he goes undrafted, he better damn well be picked up by us and not undrafted free agency. And I'm also going to call it now. This probably isn't fair because Andrew knows the guy's cousin, but if Throckmorton goes undrafted and the Saints sign him as an undrafted free agent, I'm already calling him as my undrafted free agent son. Already calling it. Fuck you, Juge.
So they still got some good receivers left. They got that guy from Texas, Duvernay, who tore up LSU. So they
How bendy is he? Is he bendy at all?
Not.
At all? Even a little bit bendy?
I mean, we needed slight
stiff as a
bend if
dick
we're
in a
gonna take.
porno movie. No bend. None.
Yeah, fuck that guy then. Bend or bust. Bend or bust, baby.
So does this mean that we're going to have a bend but not break defense?
That's right. That's what we're all about.
It's so good. So This was a breaking news live stream, but guys, thanks to everybody in the last couple days who has signed up for the podcast, supporting it. Zachary, Kevin. Thanks to guys for supporting the podcast. If you deem to do it, sign up at the $10 level. You get a cup. Crew to Taste Some Cup, you get a koozie, you get a magnet, and me and Dave are cooking up something super extra special for the fall swag giveaway that I think you're gonna like a lot. So you should join, and you get all kinds of swag, and you get the podcast every day, and you get access to it, and you allow us to pay Sean Payton $500 to insult us, so it's worth it. It's win-win. Everybody wins is what I'm saying. So guys, thanks for joining us on short notice in the live stream. For Dave, for Andrew, for Kevin, it's been fun. We'll see you Sunday night. We'll recap everything. Thanks for joining us. Until then, the bar is closed.